Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us today for our daily affirmational reading from our Daybook of Comfort and Joy by Sarah Bon Brethnot, Simple Abundance. Here is our affirmational reading for positive mindset. December 6, 2020. The Festival of Lights. To be a Jew is a destiny. Vicky Baum. In the dark days of December comes the wonderful holiday of Hanukkah, celebrated in Jewish homes. Originally known as the Festival of Lights, Hanukkah commemorates a miracle that occurred in 165 BC after Judas Maccabeus and his followers reclaimed Jerusalem from a Greek emperor who considered Israel a Greek province. In an attempt to assimilate conquered nations into cohesion and controllable society, the Greek Empire prohibited any other religion. Jews were forced to abandon their faith and ordered to worship Greek gods. By decree, the Temple of Jerusalem was turned into a Greek shrine, and Jews were forbid to study the Torah, celebrate their holidays, or practice Jewish customs. Many Jews disobeying the edict died for their beliefs. After a 3-year guerrilla campaign, the Maccabees were victorious and the temple was restored to Jewish worship. As part of their rededication ceremony, the word Hanukkah means dedication. The Maccabees began an 8-day purification rite, only to discover there was barely enough sacred oil to keep the temple menorah, a candelabrum with 8 branches, lit for 1 day. Miraculously, the temple lamp burned continuously for 8 days. Ever since that time, the Jewish people have observed Hanukkah in remembrance of their struggle for religious freedom and the miracle of restoration, symbolized by the abundance of oil. Many who celebrate Christmas believe that Hanukkah is a festival reserved solely for those who practice Judaism. But as Harold Kushner points out in his enlightening and engaging meditation to Life of Celebration of Jewish Being and Thinking, if it weren't for Hanukkah, we wouldn't be celebrating Christmas. Had the Maccabees not rebelled against the Greeks, the Jewish faith would have faded into Greek culture, never to be heard of again. There would have been no Jewish community for Jesus to be born into a century and a half later. No one would have remembered the messianic promises he claimed to fulfill. Without Hanukkah, there would have been no Christmas. When one follows many families' trees back far enough, there are bound to be surprises for those who follow the Christian path will discover if they truly search for their roots, that by faith we belong to the house of David. Jesus lived his entire life as an observant Jew. He celebrated Hanukkah as a child. The Last Supper was a Passover, Seder. All the apostles and most of those who became his early followers were Jewish. Crowds who came to hear Jesus preach called him rabbi, the Hebrew's word for teacher. Perhaps our similarities in heritage are greater than our differences after all. Personally, I've come to think of Hanukkah as a celebration of authenticity. The Maccabees refused to surrender what made them authentic, their faith, even if it cost them their lives. Not to be able to live as observant Jews was not to live at all. I also consider the Hanukkah miracle the earliest recorded demonstration of simple abundance. 2,000 years ago, there was only enough sacred oil for 1 night. But all that these faithful and courageous and grateful people had was all they needed. Sacred oil in the temple, loaves and fishes on a mountainside, miracles of spirit, not any one faith. Miracles are for anyone who believes. That is the heart of Hanukkah and the soul of Christmas. The more we allow ourselves to recognize the wisdom and truth in our spiritual paths, the closer to wholeness we become. And there we have our December 6, 2020 affirmational reading for positive mindset in mindful expression. I'm so glad you could be here today. I stand strong in my wholeness, that Christ Jesus is the Son of God, the one true light, the one truth and the way. Non-denominational Christian. I'm so thankful you were here today to share this. Take care of you. Take care of me. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow.